but I didn't. I actually am still trying to figure out on FanDuel what I did, so I don't really know. But overall on the day, I think that I'm going to end up roughly even. It's just a little frustrating because I had a lot of good plays, a lot of the right plays, and just couldn't quite come through. But it was a fun Sunday, and it was obviously great to get my Lakers a championship. It's a little scary what was happening out in the streets last night. It's a wild party, but yeah, I mean it's all good when your team wins the title, right? And then we got the Dodgers starting up tonight, so it's we still have a little bit of good sports left in us.
It was kind of crazy. So in order last night, not even in order. First, there was a three-way playoff in the golf tournament, which was pretty exciting for those who were into that. Then there was
who won?
They had the football and the baseball and the basketball all going simultaneously. I had my clickers going kind of nonstop last night. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun. I mean, it was that to have all the stuff. I actually felt a little almost exhausted by the end of the day. It just was a lot of stuff to pay attention to, and then obviously the Lakers being a big part of it. It just was a lot. But by the way, that game on Friday, that basketball game, which we didn't get a chance to talk about, that was one of the best basketball games I've seen. All finals games I've watched, I don't remember watching two teams at that high of a level. For the whole game, especially Butler was just all-time great game, and LeBron was out of control. That was just an incredible Game 5. Anyway, I didn't want to go off on that.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one day.
It was a really just unbelievably awesome back and forth all the way. All right, man. Well, we got football and baseball today. I think we should start it off with a little bit of football. We're going to come up to lock on baseball. Not that it matters that much. We already know who's playing and everything.
Well, it sort of matters because, I want to make sure that I have my bigger lineups taken care of, you know what I mean, before I definitely want to talk through some of it. Let's do football first, and then we could time out baseball a little bit.
All right, sounds good. All right, you want to talk about just right off the bat, I think that there's some weird ways you can go here with a team like the Saints when they're on showdowns. It's always kind of fun because you have these weird players or weird plays that they run that could actually end up getting you home. And I also feel that way about the Chargers being banged up at the running back spot. I think we can play one of these second string running backs as our captain.
Like who?
Well, in my main lineup right now, I've got Justin Jackson as my captain.
Because I have I only mentioned it because I ran 20 lineups, and I have 30% of them with Lamont Murray.
Yeah, I have Murray in most of them. He's in my big one also.
I mean his captain.
Oh, as captain, you have Murray. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah. I didn't get to a lot of Jackson. Sell me on this.
So, first of all, you're going to have a low-owned play. Nobody's going to play in the captain that allows you to do everything else. This is a night you need to be able to spend up you want to get Kamara in your lineups. And playing Kamara at captain really sort of hinders you in the rest of your lineup builds. Justin Jackson has the opportunity to sort of do what Joshua Kelly was doing to Austin Eckler. He only had six rushes last week and two receptions, but still, at his price right now, I still think he's completely. There's a path where he gets 10 carries and has 6 targets. And there's a path where he scores the rushing touchdown and Kelly doesn't. We just saw this happen with the Rams with Brown and Henderson, where it's sort of going back and forth. I think you're going to see Kelly on the field more. I don't think it's going to be I think you're going to see more Justin Jackson than you think, especially if Mike Williams is out. You might even see him line up on the outside a little bit. So I like Justin Jackson as a long shot play.
So why do we need to have I'm saying it part sarcastic, but why do we need to have Alvin Kamara in the captain?
I was saying you don't, but he's going to score the most fantasy points to be played this slate most of the time, which usually you want those points, and you want those points in your lineup because he really doesn't. He's not going to put up less than 20 almost ever. It takes a pretty fluky game for him to get less than 20, so he's got to be in somewhere in your lineups. I do think people will try and captain him and squeeze in other things. Justin Jackson, it allows you to do some other things, and by the way, even just from a projection standpoint, Jackson is expected to have double-digit fantasy points basically across the board wherever you look. It's not like he's completely off the board, and he's going to have low ownership, and he will be very low in the captain spot. Lat Murray obviously makes more sense. He's going to have more ownership, but I still think there's that upside for Jackson. So I like playing both of those guys together and sort of rotating them in the captain spot a little bit.
Well, all right, so let's talk about some fun stuff first. You want to
Well, this is pretty fun. I think this is a pretty bold take.
Is that as fun as Marcus Callaway at 600 or no?
as a play, sure, you can go ahead and play him, but there'll be less people with Justin Jackson in a captain spot than they're going to be playing Callaway overall.
Right. Yeah, maybe I will get some Jacks. I wasn't. See what I was doing. I have these Saints receivers.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of them in the captain. Like I have Sanders. I have Traquan Smith. I have.
He's my favorite one. I like both those guys fine, but I think if you get too much of them in the captain, what worries me is this team wants to run the ball down your throat. That's what they want to do. That's who they are these days. I think that's what they're going to try and do again here. I don't know if they're going to just throw it all over the field like they sometimes do. Now there'll be a lot of little dink dunk plays where they're going to get PPR points, and these guys absolutely should be in your lineups. But in terms of overall scoring, I feel like you're going to see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns. I feel like that's the way I treat the New Orleans all the time. They are really treating it as a two-headed monster, which is just mostly focused on Kamara.
So I guess we have to talk about the game then, because you think that the Saints are just going to basically handle them?
I think the Saints are going to win. No, I think it's going to be a competitive game, but I think that the rushing game is going to be the effective part for the Saints. I think the Chargers. I mean, they've been competitive. I don't have any reason to think they won't be competitive. I like Herbert better than Breeze.
Yeah, I'm going to have. I mean, it's not exactly a bold take, but I'm going to have a bunch. I'm going to have a bunch of both of them. What a surprise! But I don't know why I always do this, but I always try to put these receivers. I don't try to, but I always get these receivers in the captain. I got Herbert a little bit in the captain also.
He has upside because he also has some rushing upside. He'll run for 20 yards and potentially run one in as possible. So I actually like that play. But yeah, I think Smith is the one who I'm siding with a little bit over Sanders, but I will have one Sanders captain one because he's too cheap.
So I mean, like for me, it seems the logical thing is that with Thomas out, that by the way, you see why he's out, right?
What happened this time? He's been out.
Yeah, but you know why they say he's out?
I actually didn't hear this now.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with health. He says he punched like a teammate in the face during practice, and he's being disciplined.
What? I didn't hear that at all. Jeez, that's bizarre. I don't know how I missed that. I guess there's a lot of sports going on.
So for me, like when Thomas is out, the way New Orleans just kind of does what they do, I think you're gonna have to get that guy that no one's heard of to hit the touchdown, right? Like you got to get like a Marcus Callaway or a Josh Hill or right. I mean, because Breeze loves to spread it around. There's always some random that catches one, right? So who's that going to be?
Catches a touchdown? I mean, I feel like you're getting better odds on the Chargers. They just had 3 different guys scoring on 50-yard plus plays last week, and they're all low-owned and cheap, and they have a lot less receivers available if Mike Williams is out again.
So you think Mike Williams is out?
I think as of right now, I'm operating in the assumption that he might be. If he is, that's going to change things a little bit.
Because the last thing I have from like an hour, like 3 hours ago, it says he's trending in the right direction for Monday night's game. Officially listed the question. This is from the DraftKings thing.
Yeah.
Looks as though he's got a fair shot at taking the field. Might not come to the 8:15. The inactives are released or whatever.
Right. All right. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, like if he plays, that does change things a little bit for the Chargers receiver side of things. I still think that you have I think Williams is a good play, by the way. I still think that Keenan Allen's a great play, but those targets might spread out a little bit more. You might not get targeted 18 times again. Troutman, Josh Hill. The problem is we say all these guys, but Jared Cook's supposed to be back also for them, and he's been gone, which is why everybody was into Troutman before. So taking a shot on these guys, sure, he could throw one to any of them. I don't know if you can pick that guessing game. Taysom Hill's always going to get a few plays ran for him, so he makes sense as one of the cheaper guys. Troutman will be on the field a little bit. I don't know how much more versus he or Hill will be out there. Callaway, I think was he out there for like 8 plays the other day, and then probably be less this time around. So I'm not excited about any of these guys.
If Cook's healthy, if Cook plays, I like Cook. I have him in the captain in one of my lineups too.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about we can speculate a little bit. So if Mike Williams doesn't play, who are the guys that you would play besides Keenan Allen?
Besides Keenan Allen, I would play. If Mike Williams is out there, I'd play Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is out.
What? If Mike Williams is out. Oh, Justin Jackson, Jalen Guyton. I mean, Jackson's a running back, but again, you can still see him lined up a little bit. And Jalen Guyton, Justin Jackson would be the main ones. There's that other kid who was on, again, he played 8 snaps also the other last week in this same situation. What's his name? Tyler Johnson? Is it no, it's not Tyler.
I think it is Tyler Johnson, actually.
No, it's Tyron Johnson. Tyler Johnson who came out for nothing for Tampa Bay, I think it was. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what that was. But Tyron Johnson, he had a 53-yard touchdown last week in one of those plays. You could take a shot there. I personally think you're going to get a lot of points from these other guys. So I'm sort of middling out the build and using one of these Murray Jackson value guys as my captain. And or a little bit of Sanders, so I can spend up elsewhere. I get the idea of trying to take a shot on these guys. What I'm saying though is, if they catch a 53-yard touchdown, you're good. If they have a couple catches for 5 yards, you're not going to be good. This isn't the Bears and Bucks from last week, where we could play Cordarrelle Patterson, which I did in my main lineup, and Cordarrelle Patterson was 5% owned and ended up with like 9 touches or whatever, which is all you want in that situation.
Right. So you think you're going to need more than that from these guys?
I just think so. I think that there's going to be Breeze will dink and dunk enough, so he's going to throw it 30 times probably anyway. It's not going to be these long downfield passes at least, and you're going to get enough from a PPR standpoint that I think that you kind of have to be open to taking one of these guys, one of the main receivers. But I don't really as much as other people might be. I like Hunter Henry over here. But I do think Hunter Henry's going to have a breakout game, and they've been so bad against the tight end. I think it's something we have to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's helpful. Guys, throw in any QQs. Say what's up when you get into the chat. Give us the like, the thumbs up. Reminder, check everything out at BetQL. 20% off using the promo code BobbyFi. And let's make some money tonight. So we're going to get into baseball in just a minute. Sheets, is there anything else with football? I think the defenses and kickers are more in play because they're actually cheaper than they usually are on these slates.
I have to tell you, I need to do a little work on the showdown stuff. I've been spending a lot of time doing stuff on non-showdown stuff.
Yeah,
and I really feel as though, not that I've been getting lazy, but I really feel as though I'm putting stuff in showdown without really thinking about it. I'm like, oh, this sounds like a good idea. This sounds like a good idea, and I guess the first step is admitting it. And I think if I'm going to play these things, I definitely have to grind a little more with making sure my correlations are good and making sure my pairings are good. Because I really haven't been happy with my showdown lineups. Not necessarily the performance per se.
Yeah.
But I look at them like, whatever. I'm just too lazy to go fix them. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Part of it again is just having had no sports for a while and realizing it's all kind of not winding down, but it's going to get less. Probably playing a little too much, but yeah. But my overall take with respect to the showdown tonight is, again, my initial instinct was what I said was that with Thomas out, to try to find that other receiver to get something. But now you're reminding me that you're going to need more points than just the random 2 catches out of Marcus Callaway, for example.
If the way you could go is if you do the Kamara as your captain or even Herbert as your captain and playing those guys makes sense, because then you're getting that huge ceiling. I'm willing to forgo some of the ceiling points from Jackson and taking the salary, still thinking he has upside, by the way. Look, we've seen this story with San Diego and these guys before, LA Chargers, whatever you want to call them. These backup running backs have always been a huge part of it. It's how Eckler got going. And yeah, you could say he's exceptional. Well, what's his name? Jackson put up huge games when these guys were even on the field with them. So I just like taking a shot on him, specifically as the captain, and I love having him and Lat Murray in the same lineups. Also, it's worth noting, I'm losing so many players to injury every week. You just got to remember that with the way this season had no training camp and no preparation and everything, players are going to get hurt. On showdowns, taking the guys back up at an immediate running back position is not a bad idea. I know it sounds weird and horrible, but that's something you should be factoring in this year more than most. So that's why I'm more into the running backs, the backup running backs in the showdowns in general. And tonight we just happen to have 2 good ones. And we got Jay and Arroyo saying this FD stuff is crazy. It's such a sweat. The points are coming out apparently. Well, let's see if maybe Sheets knows. Maybe we won some money and we don't even know about it.
Oh, they're coming out?
That's what he just wrote in chat.
Oh, it's going to be hard, Jay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right now.
Right as we're on here just to see if I don't know what it was for me. I mean, I know Oh, I think I had Deontay Johnson everywhere too. That's what's going to kill me.
Oh, we're going to do it right now.
I had the nice start to the stack. I mean, that Mahomes stack almost got me everywhere. By the way, great call on the Raiders.
Oh, the money lot, the sports.
Yeah, great call on the Raiders. Oh, look, I did win. Yay. I more than doubled my money. I'll take it.
On FanDuel?
Yeah. I captured every single lineup I played. Oh, my God. I actually had a decent lineup over here. Wow, this is really I almost wish I didn't see this. But I didn't look back at it because I didn't play that much. I only played like 15 lineups, but they were like not unique. They were like literally.
Oh, yeah, I knew this was coming. Total entry fees, $222. Total cashes, $45.
Oh, no, only some of the points are out right now. Never mind.
Oh, good.
That's terrible for me. I mean, I'm not going to win. I just looked at my lineup. There's no way I'm winning. Shoot.
Well, how do you know? Like,
I'm looking at. I know what these guys scored.
Oh yes, some of them are out. Oh,
no,
like
I know what they scored. Yeah.
So yeah. So the KC game is out. I see what you're saying. So
yeah.
So I got one here that's graded. I have a Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey. Any chance Deontay Johnson did anything? Probably not.
Got hurt. That's what I was saying. That's killed my whole lineup. Don't ask that, man.
That's this lineup, dude. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at my own.
Brutal.
Did Antonio Gibson do anything?
Not really.
Did Rasheem Mostert do anything? All right, so this lineup.
I didn't even pay attention to Mostert at all. So I don't know. But all right, but let's jump over to baseball while we see whether or not we made money on FanDuel. And by the way, I wonder if there's going to be overlay on FanDuel today because of this. So I'm just going to keep an eye out for that.
Oh, my God. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 9 fantasy points.
Yeah, that was one of my better fades of the week for the most part. That was a tough one. It scared the hell out of me.
You know what? If you could, I'd sign up right now for the $45.
What's that?
If I had a choice right now to sign on for the $45 that I'm currently quote-unquote cashing for.
You would take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, man. Well, let's jump over to baseball because look, this is an exciting time for us Dodger fans. This is the time of year. Boy, you don't get these kind of totals.
You were excited for it again? You were like so over it. Like for the last, they're going to lose. It's bullshit. I can't.
No, I hated the system. Now they're in the NLCS. It's regular baseball a little bit. It's still always a ridiculous.
Yeah. All right.
No, I'm thrilled about it. I just didn't want to. This is the time when it really starts to matter. As a Dodger fan, it's become that way where every year we're there or contending for it. So anytime you're not playing in the World Series, it's not really that special. Now it's the time where it becomes really special.
All right. Who's going to be the lowest owned between McCullers, Buehler, and who's going to rank the ownership of these 4 pitchers?
I think it'll be Morton, Buehler, McCullers, Fried.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with that too. I think Morton and Buehler are the better plays here. I don't mind if I was going to play a bunch of lineups today, which I probably should, but I'm not going to. I'm playing a couple big ones. I probably would. I would consider Fried anyway, because I think you're going to get real low ownership. I think I can't imagine
that low.
What?
I don't think it's be that low.
Okay, well then there's no reason to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm saying there are only 4 pitchers. I mean.
Well, what you'd have to if you do it with like McCullers to get the 2 lower owned guys.
I honestly basically have equal amount of all of them. I mean, I have
really. Yeah,
maybe a little less of Morton. And I got 59% McCullers, 55% Buehler, 55% Fried, and 32% more. And then the reason why I did so much of Fried was exactly for what you just said. I just figured though he'd be the lowest owned of them all. So
yeah, people are going to try and play the Dodgers and Rays, I think.
Well, that's the other thing is that I figured the Dodgers would be the team to go to. So
Well, let's do it. Let's go.
Dodgers are tough, but maybe Fried, give him a little bit of a leash. Maybe have him go 5-6 innings. These Tampa guys, man, you never know. I mean, the guy could go in for 1 inning. Who the hell knows?
Not Morton. I mean, at least not based on their whole thing. They talked about. I mean, I watched they talked about it the whole beginning of the Yankee game when he pitched last week, and it was them specifically needing him to get back to 90 pitches. They want one pitcher who they want him out there to throw 90 pitches specifically. They want one guy, and also they can't do all the same exact. Every series that goes on, they're going to need some innings out of certain people. And if Morton's pitching well, I wouldn't see any reason. And also, it's the first game of the 7-gamer. I just don't see him not pitching 5 innings here. I really don't. Sure, you could be scared of the Houston offense. If they were going to be low owned on the other side, I would say, hey, try to get control. But you can't really do much. You know what I mean?
By the way, I'm really not supposed to say this.
Yeah.
But I mean, given what, and not that they didn't deserve it, okay, but given what Houston went through, kind of into them winning. I don't know. I know it's bad. I know it's dirty, but you know what? They were playing like shit. They're playing well. They took their lumps in the.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
I know. I hear. That's why I said I'm embarrassed to say it. Like I'm kind of into Altuve playing well. I don't know. I'm kind of into everybody rooting against Houston, them kind of doing something. I don't know. I hate it.
Well, everybody thinks like it's not. You're saying it like you're coming off the board with it. People think Houston can win. It's not like they're like an underdog here.
No, I'm kind of What's nasty about it is I'm kind of rooting for it a little bit.
Why though? Where do you get out? Why do you do that?
I don't know.
That's sick. And you're a Yankee fan, and I'm a Dodger fan, and you're going to root for the.
Well, this is why I prefaced it by saying it feels just so wrong. But
why do you
they did well because they were cheating and the whole thing. And now to have them win if they're not cheating, I don't know. It'd be kind of a little bit of redemption. I don't know. Maybe it's a terrible take. I tell you.
I don't feel that it's fair redemption. I don't think they should be allowed to be redeemed this year either. I also don't think they wouldn't have made the playoffs in any other season. They're a 500 baseball team, but I would love it to have a chance for the Dodgers to be the ones to beat them. So that's where I'm.
That's fair enough.
It's a little bit where I'm with you, even though there's just not the same thing about beating the Rays. Even though the Rays are a much, much better baseball team, in my opinion, than Houston is right now.
Houston guys, they're hitting, man. They are peaking, though. They're going to be tough.
They didn't peak yesterday.
I know.
But I actually that's, we'll get into it by positions now, I guess. But, we already were with pitcher. But let's talk about the other ones, because I do think that you're going to have to try and do something weird some places. You could even potentially consider using certain guys if you think that – I don't know, actually. I don't think I could talk about players that aren't starting, but I was considering it. At some point, Tampa Bay, we might have to consider that.
I'm not doing that.
If we have a game where it's going to be a starter coming out and then you're going to bring in a lefty and the guy's getting one at bat and then Rousseau's going to come up or whatever against against Valdez or something, that's the spot where I would do it sometime, but not doing it.
Two games, I feel like I can get enough regular players.
You can get enough regular players. The problem is trying to get off the board a little bit, and it is going to be hard. So, okay, starting with catcher, because of what I think the projected ownership will be, the guy who the best play is Will Smith. It's not even close, in my opinion. Darno is right. Darno's been amazing this year, so you could say it's between them. That's what people will play. I'm going to probably end up playing some Zunino just because I think he'll be a little bit lower owned than the other one. Still has the power upside, and I sort of like if I'm going to stack Tampa Bay up or play a few players there, I'd like to do it at the bottom of the order with guys who I feel like will stay in. So I will take a shot with Zunino.
I couldn't agree with that whole thing more. I mean, I think that Will Smith is probably the best play, and Darno. I mean, they're two best hitters on the board, right?
Right.
But like you said, Zunino is very, very viable and lower owned, and I think I would definitely, I'm gonna have some of them. I'm not gonna take a big stance. Like I'm not gonna lock in Will Smith or lock in Travis Darno or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, again, baseball's funny. I mean, it really depends on how your stacks are going to go. Now, again, by the way,
but you don't need to fully stack tonight either. You can play like just three guys or something.
Well, right. What I was getting at is also with the two game, I have no problem playing opposing hitters and pitchers.
Oh yeah. You can go up to three if you want to, but I'm probably not going to. I'm not finding that I need to do more than one today or one or two, but I think I wouldn't have any problem doing even more. All right, first base. Best play is probably going to be Freeman and Choi.
Yep.
And I think that's probably what I'll end up doing my big lineups, but I'm completely open to the idea of Muncy. I'll get into this every time I talk about Fried. This guy has not given up a home run on his curveball, which he throws 45% of the time in like 2 years. He hasn't given up did he give up a home run? He had one in the last game, and he gave up two in one other game. And other than that, he went 13 other starts without giving up a home run. Having said all that, the Dodgers are a monster offense, and if Muncy's going to be lowest owned, these guys, it's not the best plays are Choi and Freeman, and I will play a little Muncy. That's where I'm at.
I agree with that.
Yeah, pretty basic stuff when we're only picking from four guys. It'll be a little bit more interesting when we talk about the outfield. I have one play at second base that stands out way above everybody else because he actually looks like the old guy himself. I'll play the hot streak man and stick with Altuve. I know he'll be popular. I think Lau will have ownership as well. Kike and Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor is more likely to stay in the game between the two. Kike, I think, might have more power upside if he plays tonight. But just don't be – we don't know what the Dodgers are going to run out with their lineup. Every now and then they'll throw out like Rios even against the lefty. It's just they do weird things. But Buehler but Altuve and Albies to me are the two best players.
It's interesting. The guy who rates the best for me is actually Lau.
Yeah, he's the highest projected by a long shot.
And I don't know. When I first was building, Chris Taylor just made everything work. Now I don't know where. Again, he's hitting. Or I actually don't care where he's hitting. I just want him to play. You know what I mean?
Remember what we saw from the Padres, though? And they literally stole every single time they were on base against Buehler.
Yeah.
And when Will Smith was catching, because that's who catch it. And that's what's going to happen. They're not going to play Barnes out of the blue to catch him, I don't think. It'd be shocking. He only catches Kershaw.
Right.
But that would be a great reason to play a guy like Albies.
Yeah.
And Acuna is my favorite outfield spend up for that reason. And I think those stolen bases are so much more important because these are bad hitters' parks. Good pitching teams. You're going to see some home runs. You're just not going to see, 7 by a team very often, like they sometimes happen this year. But yeah, I think Lau is probably going to be the highest owned play too. I just like Altuve, and he's the one that I just think he's on fire right now, and I love the stolen base upside for some of these Atlanta guys.
Third base next.
Third base is next.
For third base, I really would like to play one of the other two besides Turner and Bregman. I just think that the ownership of those two is going to be so far and away above the other guys.
Yeah.
That I actually kind of want to play the other ones. So for me, I'm going to try to play Austin Riley a little bit at 3,600. And it's really disgusting, right? If you want to play Joey Wendell at 4,200 when you can pay an extra 200 for freaking Turner or 400 for Bregman. But I think the ownership gap is going to be so wide that I think I might do it.
We're on the complete 100% same page. Joey Wendell is my top guy. He's in my main lineup at third base.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I just think, look, you're just like you said, you're getting just way too much of an ownership discount versus projected production. Not to mention that he fits in with the bottom of that Tampa stack, and I can get to the guy who I like at the next position, which is I think, another one who's going to be a little bit off the board. So I'm trying to get a little more off the board with some of my, the stacks that I like. And that makes the obvious play at shortstop today. Actually, it's going to be between Seager, Correa, and Swanson, I think, right? People don't need to save much, so Adames should end up being the lowest owned. I actually think he's probably in the best spot of any of these guys.
So I like him a lot. I have it really a two-position slate. I have it either Adames or Seager. And
I like that too.
And I think he's going to get owned. Adames also.
I'm sure there's 4 people to choose from, but I think that people will go. I think it's going to go. I think it'll be. You know what? He might actually end up being the most owned. Actually, now that I look at it,
yeah.
But you don't need the savings. That's the thing.
Well, you could get the savings to just leave money on the table. It'd be different if you want.
That's true. But then why would you? Then you probably shouldn't. Yeah, I guess you could actually. I like
just say, "Oh, it's hashtag baseball," and just hope that Seager doesn't do anything. Whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I do think if for any reason people are at all, if Seager ends up not one of the top 2, just play Seager. It's at this point he's the best. He's just the best player by a long shot of the position.
Yep.
I do think that with the way he's been hitting the ball, I'm a little bit interested in Correa as well. So I've interested in all the shortstops, but I'm probably going to end up playing mostly Adames. Outfield, what are we doing out here? Because I've got a ton of. Based on how I'm spending, I think I can play whoever I want. So, who are you paying for?
Okay, they did it. I'm gonna take. I can say in the stock market, I'm gonna take my profits and I'm gonna walk off. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna pay $4,500 for the best player in baseball. Seems kind of silly, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna pay $4,500 for Arizarena. And let someone else win. I love, and these are guys I don't usually play. I love Mookie at 5,200, and my next, and I love Acuna, like you said, and then also Austin Meadows. Those are my 3 favorites.
Yeah, I think Meadows is going to be really, really popular.
Yeah, I think so. I think all three of those guys I just mentioned are going to be really popular.
Yeah, I like Bellinger as a semi-contrarian-ish play.
Oh, man, I was afraid you were going to say that.
He's been great. He's smoking the ball right now. Like he put up 21 and 14 his last 2 games. It's not like he's been terrible. And when he finds his swing, he goes on these ridiculous tears.
Yeah,
lefty stuff doesn't really bother him, especially without a hard throwing lefty. Potential for a stolen base at some point in the game in general, just because he does run sometimes. I mean, you're looking for everything. Will have lower ownership than the other guys, and I could just play a Rosarena instead of him, but I would rather play the lower owned Bellinger, which I think he's going to be. I also do want exposure to the Dodgers offense, even though it worries me a little. Like Fried is a good pitcher, and he just doesn't get lit up. But again, you don't need to light somebody up; you just need to get points in this slate. So I think Mookie's number 1, and I think Acuna's number 1, Mookie's number 2 for me, and Bellinger's number 3.
You like any of the cheapies? You like Reddick or Kiermaier, guys like that?
Starting to realize I think I need to do something different with my lineup. I think that's an interesting thing. I don't need have any reason to spend down for them there.
Okay.
But if I did, I would have considered it. I think that the answer may be, feels weird to have nobody from Houston. I really wanted to take one bat from Houston in my big lineup.
I'll tell you who you take. My favorite Houston guy from there. But I like Tucker.
I can't be an outfielder. Yeah, I just told you, can't be an outfielder. Not only do I not need to save, there's no reason for me to play him over the other guys. I like him too, but I don't need the money.
Yeah.
Well, and he's a good play. I guess I could upgrade other positions. I just am trying to decide.
Well, you're not going to play Correa. You're not going to play Bregman.
I'll play. I like Correa.
No, but you like the other guys more, right?
I would prefer Altuve or.
No, but I mean, you like the
shortstop. Yeah. No, but I like Correa actually. I think Correa and Adames are right. I actually don't think that it's that. It's just I'm just curious where the ownership's going to be on it. It's actually probably going to be pretty spread out actually now the more that I think about it. But what I'm trying to figure out right here is I think Ozzie Albies is a better play than Jose Altuve. And what I don't like about it, well, what it's going to do is it's going to get me on to Justin Turner off of Joey Wendell because I can afford to. And I'm different enough, maybe, but maybe I'm not. So maybe I stick with Wendell. Okay, I'm just thinking it out loud. Sorry, we have to decide soon. So I wanted to make sure I thought it out.
You like Adam Duvall? Oh, you don't like the cheap outfielders? Okay. I was going to suggest Adam Duvall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with him. I'm more looking for speed from the. That's why I like Albies and Acuna. I want some speed against this matchup. They're going to do the same thing San Diego did. If they get on, they're going to run, especially Acuna, but Albies will too. And that's what I just can't quite, get over. Also, Morton's been good against this team in limited sample size in terms of not giving up power. He hasn't been good in terms of not getting hit at all. I don't know. I'm just sort of struggling because I don't want to. I'm stuck in a tough 2v2 basically.
These pitches are so freaking cheap. I mean, what's going to happen is people. I think these Houston guys are going to be really, really popular. You can just play them so easily.
The thing is, though, people are also going to play Morton, but they'll do that. You'll play some against your guy. That's what feels weird. Right now, I've got 2 guys against Buehler, and I've got nobody against Morton. And I just feel weird. I don't know. I just would like to rather have split that out. But I think that I'm playing to win, and I think I should be playing Ozzie Albies over. God, my lineup is going to be just awful after the.
What do you think about? So is Kiki playing? You think?
Possibly. I think it's really up in the air with the Dodgers. I really do. They've sat him a lot lately in these spots against lefties. But I would guess that he would play if I had to right now. Because the other guys they added aren't righties. So I would guess that he plays. And by the way, if he plays, even with the pinch hit stuff, like these guys, it's not like, first of all, anybody who, they're going to bring in any lefty they can. Against the Dodgers, the great thing about being a righty is, you might get pinch hit for. It's not like you're Peterson, because Peterson always gets pinch hit for because the first thing teams do when they go to their bullpen is go to the lefties because they're facing the Dodgers, and Dodgers have so many lefties. So then, but you get the safety for guys like Hernandez sometimes or Chris Taylor, you know what I mean? Because they're going to just be in the lefty-righty spots when those matchups come up. So it's just kind of interesting.
What's the deal? What's the deal? So what do you think of Buehler in general?
I just think he's hurt. I think he's playing hurt. and not like badly hurt. I don't think he ever got his pitch count back upright. I don't think he has been able to pitch the third time through the lineup well. That doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't bother me the slightest bit. He's going to strike out guys. He might give up some runs too, but he'll strike out some guys. He should pitch 90-plus pitches. He pitched 95 in his last outing. He's had a good amount of rest. I have no problem using Buehler. He's the guy I'm using most with Morton. But again, there's no problem with any of these other guys. You know what I mean? I could make the same argument for Fried or McCullers here. I just didn't happen to go that way.
Are there any questions out there? Or?
Nothing out there. I mean, it seems like a quiet day. Maybe it's a little bit – sometimes it happens on Mondays where people are sort of down. And it looks like it's not broadcasting to our other stations. It looks like only YouTube right now. So that's sort of a little bit – usually there's like 20 other people out there.
Okay.
Stuff. But, yeah, before we get out of here, though, real quick, I do want to do one last thing just to make sure that I have some of it. And – oh, wait. Yeah, all right. Sheets, any final who's the guy who breaks the baseball slate today? Who's going to hit the home run? Who's going to do all the damage?
I'll tell you. You know what? It's gonna be a guy who's going to be. It's going to be a guy we played like a bunch this year. Haven't really heard from him in a while. Maybe I haven't been watching their games. But let's go for a home run or two from AJ Pollock today.
Oh, I can get behind that. He's actually just the guy I was just putting in my lineup. So that's really funny that you mentioned him. Because he's the other one, like traditionally awesome lefty hitter, awesome against lefties. So just keep him in mind. All right, and I'm going to say one more thing. What I said about catcher thing about Zunino, also go to Maldonado too. Like just play the lower owned catchers. There's no question they're going to be lower owned.
How do we know that? How do we know who's going to be the lowest owned?
Because we are smart. We do this. I'll tell you what I think that it'll be the lowest owned. Why wouldn't he be the lowest owned? They're going to play. You have two good catchers in good spots. Why would we assume that they wouldn't be higher owned than the other guys?
No reason. I'm just,
No, that's my.
Just being a pain in the neck.
Usually when you do that, you just say, "You sure about that?"
Yeah, I mean, again, no. But I say that only because it's easy for me to say, I'm just going to play the lowest owned. But I don't always exactly know who that is.
This time, I'll tell you, it's going to be Maldonado. It should be Maldonado and Zunino. It should be Zunino, then Maldonado. Maldonado should be the lowest, followed by Zunino. That second lowest. It really should be. It would be weird if it wasn't.
I also think that, as usual, you should play. You should try to play guys from the later game to afford yourself some flexibility.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So we don't. So the end result is we don't need to do any funny business with relievers and stuff like that, right?
No, I don't think we need to. It wouldn't surprise me if a reliever got there somehow, but I just don't think that's where I'm going to take that approach on this. Sheets, we got a question for you. What's your score prediction in the Saints-Chargers?
Like score prediction?
Yeah, you've done this. I know why he's asking, because you've actually been right about this a few times when you've been really close on scores.
I don't remember ever doing that, but
you did it with the basketball games like every day for a while.
Right. I like the Chargers. How about that?
You like the Chargers, all right?
I like the Chargers plus the points.
I'm second that. I second that emotion. I'm going to go with Chargers plus the points as well.
We're going to go with Chargers plus the points.
A little worried about Chargers. The Saints having their healthy D-backs back. But.
And we're going to go with the under.
Go with the under.
We're going to go with the Chargers, and we're going to go with the under. I'm so confident. I bet you. I mean, like 50.002% of the time, those two do well.
All right. I can get behind that. I like the Chargers in the under too. I guess I'm behind you on that. I guess I actually agree with that. And I'll take right now, just for the baseball side of these things, I will take the Dodgers to win 7-3, and I will or 7-4, and I will take Houston. I'm sorry, Houston to win. No, sorry, Tampa Bay to win 5-3.
Okay,
that's where I'm at.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys. Hey, great. Thanks for tuning in. For everybody at BetQL, for Sheets, I'm Bobby saying we'll see you at the top of the leaderboards. Good luck, everybody.